And as I eat, we are live. So sorry for our guests.
Yeah, dinner time पे live.
Hello and welcome to Sports Join. It's a very unprofessional Kushag group saying a very warm welcome to all of our guests here. Pratmesh, Anurag, Manish and Rohan joining us for the live session today. Welcome boys. कैसा था आप लोगों का weekend? I'll start with you, Anurag. I know some pretty crazy. I'll actually start with Manish and then I'll come to you, Anurag. Manish, this is a cricket live, but well, I'm a United fan. You're a Liverpool fan. You cannot really escape that. So, how was the weekend, buddy? What was the weekend between Klopp and Deitch? Are we going to see them in a UFC title match or something like that?
I think if it happens, then the tickets will go through the roof. The ticket sale will go through the roof for sure.
I would buy one.
Everyone would buy one. Everyone love to see the German against Mr. Sondage.
It is Brexit versus not Brexit. It's Brexit versus EU, isn't it?
Yeah,
it looks like that. But yeah, not really a great week, but it has been not really a great month, you can say, past couple of months. But I've been a fan of Liverpool since 2010, and इससे ज़्यादा खराब दिन देखे. Just to keep it short about football, I've seen way worse, so I respect these things much better now. अभी retrospect में देखता हूँ तो अभी we're still in a better state than we used to be. But yeah, I hope it's just a slump of form and we recover. It's never really nice to lose to your rivals, especially when
man. Believe me. पिछले कुछ सालों से
enough of the football content जो क्रिकेट देखने आए थे 10 लोग हो गए चलो.
Like just a last word on that, as Manish says, he's used to taking it in a more sporting manner. You remember that song अब तो आदत सी है मुझको, पिछले 8 साल से यूनाइटेड वाले वही गा रहे हैं. So मतलब nothing to say from
Kushag, I have won the Blues today. Let's talk about the Blues.
Yeah. We will talk about the Blues.
Isn't that a great way to segue into Sri Lanka? अब तो आदत सी हो गई है चलो.
That is where I was going, Anurag. That is exactly where I was going. Talking about someone not having a great week. Talking about we probably gonna have to talk about a team which has not had a great couple of years now. Apart from that one victory versus South Africa, where Kusal Pereira was out of this world. Beyond that, I am yet to see any significant Sri Lankan performances in the last couple of years. And even though they did give England a slightly tricky target of over 150 runs, I'll start with you, Rohan. Yeah, again, a disappointing performance. I mean, you are playing them at home, and this is probably your best chance to pick up some points before the next cycle of the WTC. I know आप qualify नहीं कर सकते finals के लिए, but honestly, दोनों टेस्ट मैचेस में सिर्फ एक इनिंग्स में they've shown concentration. दूसरी इनिंग्स में they've been blown away. First test match में first innings था, second test match second innings था. How disappointed are you in Sri Lanka considering वो गोल में खेले, home पे खेले दोनों टेस्ट मैचेस?
Yeah, it's disappointing. As for us cricket fans, it is disappointing because we were rooting for Sri Lanka before the match also, because we thought with Angela Matthews in the side, they have a decent middle order, they have a good batting, they can score runs, and they proved that they have the potential. They proved that in the first innings in this match and the second innings in the last match. So it's not and even England is not the strongest England side you are facing in subcontinent conditions. The spinners are not the best spinners in the world. So I don't think there is too much difference in the talent side of the things. It's just execution. I think how Dom Sibley executed his plans today. He has been struggling with the spinners. He was still struggling, but somehow he had the determination to stay there. Yeah, there were a few umpires call that went against Sri Lanka, but not talking about bowling, how they batted in the second innings is something very disappointing. I think for all cricket lovers, because we were rooting for Sri Lanka. 250 odd runs would have been a decent enough target.
Very good score.
So, and with how they bowled in the second innings, they would have won the match. And 1-1 to Sri Lanka in this series would have been good for us. But yeah, disappointing. that has been the story. But ठीक है, क्या कर सकते हैं? That's life. It goes on.
Once again. Oh, Siddharth's already in the comments. Welcome, Siddharth. I was actually going to ask you about a show tomorrow, but I guess we'll keep that on DMs itself. But he says 160 odd was never going to be enough, especially with Root and Butler in form. Obviously, Sibley also did well, but yeah, Sri Lanka's execution can be a lot better. Consistency is key. Absolutely spot on, Siddharth. And talking about consistent, I guess that's karma for eating while actually trying to do a show. Talking about consistency, Atul and his fantastic favorite jumper are back. Welcome, Atul. Namaskar, pranam. कैसे हैं?
श्रीलंका जैसे.
I feel like asking Atul in Carry Vinati's tone, like, और बताओ कैसे है आप?
उसका आंसर वही रहेगा श्रीलंका जैसे.
अब शुरू करते हैं बिना किसी बकचोदी के.
All right. Yes, let's keep the language a little parliamentary, guys. Let's coming back to.
He wants it to get even better then.
Sorry.
Kushagra asking us to get the language a bit parliamentary. He wants it to get a bit better.
Yeah.
No, yaar, talking about
the definitions of
bitterness. Honestly, it's oh god, we're going to a different dimension here. Come on, boys. Now let's pull this back. What I was trying to say was here. The thing is कि जब Asian teams travel overseas and हम लोगों ने performances देखे हैं, the pitches don't suit the Asian players. How do I say? Siddharth, how is he reading my mind so easily? That's not fair, man. It's not fair. Anyway, coming back to this performance by Sri Lanka is just a little disappointing. Asian teams giving up their home advantage so easily in the sense that you're giving up crucial points. Even though your test cycle will come to an end, this particular victory by England will have a long bearing on where Sri Lankan test cricket goes in the future. And I feel dono matches may, you can say tough luck for Sri Lanka. I felt again, they showed for a large period of time in both matches. There was a lack of application. And, talking about that, Pratmesh, we were discussing this. You were watching you've seen both the matches quite intently. And, Sri Lanka, while Embuldenia has definitely, Lalsit Embuldenia is a definite major positive for Sri Lanka. Good find. I felt even today, he was one of the only players who showed some application with the bat as well. So, I think he was the top scorer in the second innings, isn't it, Pratmesh? So, I mean, he's look at it. People are catching on to this now. And Alok Nath isn't that sanskari in real life.
Let's come to Embuldenia.
If people get the context, that's actually very okay. Let's
I got it.
Let's not digress there.
Pratnesh, coming back to you. Just your summation of the series before maybe we can go towards Anurag with the South Africa and England, South Africa and Pakistan tour, South Africa's tour of Pakistan. That's about to begin. Another major happening in international cricket right now.
Yeah, man. Like I genuinely felt when Angelo Matthews stepped up with his get out of jail free card, and then Embuldenia picked up 7 wickets in the first innings, and that too I felt. Joe Root's wicket was the only one that was almost impossible because of the way he was playing spin. But I think it still looks like that they gave a few more runs away in the first innings itself.
Oshada Fernando's contribution.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I have to read this. So he says, why I am reading your mind so easily, Kushal? Brother, we're both from Delhi, so you know. But I still don't know who your father is. Every road fight in Delhi. Yeah, coming back to you, Pratmesh.
Talking about Fernando, uska baap actually bowling kar raha tha in a way, James Anderson, because I think the dismissals in the first innings of Kushal Pereira and Fernando were absolutely, they were I just wanted to like break my television screen off if I was Sri Lanka fan. What were they thinking? And then I think I agree, and I think the commentator said this as well, that in the second innings they needed Embledenia to bowl half the overs because the other bowlers were just not good enough. And we saw with Dilruwan Pereira, we saw. Uh, I guess it was Mendes. I don't remember his. I think it was.
Ramesh Mendes.
Ramesh Mendes. That's an interesting name, but I think Mendes also tried, but it didn't really work out for them. Embuldeni was bowling good lines, but again, I think Sibley played really well in the second innings. It's difficult to understand Sibley's technique as such because I don't think a lot of experts who watch the game also felt that his technique is something that will actually help play spin bowling. But in spite of that, Sibley's application was brilliant in the second inning. And I think Josh Butler is just a different. It's a different ball game when he gets on the front foot, and then he was reverse sweeping. He was playing his shots on mid wicket comfortably. He was cover driving pretty well. So I think England can take a lot of positives from this series. Especially
Yeah,
from the
absolutely.
second innings, second test. Joe Root's form, Anderson's form. Those are obviously good things to take back
Even
to India.
Dom Bess and Leach, Jake Leach
Jack
have been
Leach
actually
doing well. Yes, when Jack Leach is picking up a lot of wickets that there is something wrong with the opposition, right? But they really didn't show any application. They really didn't show any application. You look at the wickets of Dinesh Chandimal, for
Yeah, I
example.
cannot disagree with you there. I was very disappointed with
Because
Sri Lankan batting.
look at, I mean, Johnny Bairstow says, "Hey, Chandi, just throw your wicket away." And the next ball, Chandimal actually
And he
throws his
throws his
wicket.
wicket away.
Yeah,
And I mean,
I
it was,
I think that's the worst incident that has ever happened in cricket. Like,
No,
come
he just
on,
returned the
Dinesh.
favor to Bairstow, na. He just returned the favor to Bairstow. The last inning, Chandimal said he's not in the team for the India tour. He'll get out. After 3 balls, Bairstow got out. I think it was Chandimal. Thank you very much.
yeah,
Bro, if,
yeah. But I think,
अगर फेवर रिटर्न करने ही क्रिकेट खेलना है तो he could have asked अरे सीरीज सरेंडर कर दो why are we even playing, why are we even talking?
yeah. And I think even for the commentators, they said that when England actually come to India, which we'll discuss probably tomorrow, they have asked at Chepauk to leave a little bit of grass on. Here, the ball was spinning square at goal, and I feel in the second innings, especially because of that, had Sri Lanka showed better application in the third innings, so they could have posted somewhere around 175, 180. It would have been still very very challenging for England, and I feel they just wasted the opportunities. If there is any Sri Lankan fan, please do not look at the highlights again. But for the people who haven't really seen Sri Lanka's second innings batting, please do watch it. And for youngsters especially, that is exactly you do not bat in a test match game. That was
Yeah.
just pathetic to watch.
Or either watch the Adelaide highlights if you're not a Sri Lanka fan. That's how you not bat in a test match.
And he's back.
Yeah. It's the classic 101 techniques that can be given out, how to not bat on a seaming pitch and how to not
Yeah.
bat on a spinner friendly pitch. Shrikant says, thank you for the comments, Shrikant says, tough luck for Sri Lanka. They're going through a difficult period. At the same time, couldn't recognize even one player from the West Indies team, especially versus
Yeah.
Bangladesh. I agree. We've had a chat about this before, but I think we got an answer around that. A lot of players are out because they're either playing the T20 leagues or they've refused to travel during these COVID times to Bangladesh. So I'm assuming that because we saw a full strength West Indian team when they went to England. So I'm assuming on a tour of maybe somewhere else apart from Bangladesh, we might see some known faces in that West Indies team.
Yeah.
It's not like Jason Holder to miss out on tour. There could be an issue. Yeah, Manish, you were saying.
Just to wrap up on the Sri Lanka England discussion, maybe I'm trying to be a little more optimistic, bit more positive because today Roman is on the show. But maybe you're being a little too harsh on the Sri Lankan team, okay, if they're playing at home, they're an Asian team, but look at where they are and look at where England are in this stage of, Test cricket. Look at the teams that they're playing. And I think if I'm looking from a Sri Lankan perspective, I'm going to look at more of the positives. I don't think I'm going to be bugged down because of the things that have happened. I'm looking at it as a series. Okay, they were not really at the best, but they're going through a tough time right now. And there were lots of positives. Embledenia will talk about Angela Matthews, the evergreen Matthews. They need a few more of those characters to come out. But I don't think this is something that's going to just put them down. I think they're going to come a better side out of this series. I just,
Yeah.
maybe it's all because of Rohan, this positive vibes that I'm getting
Yes,
today.
yes. You know, if you are a
Sri
Sri
Lanka,
Lankan fan,
it
if
wasn't
you,
that bad a series. That's just what I feel.
Yeah,
Okay.
all right. Atul, you had a hand up, man.
सी थोड़ा सा कैप्टन के बारे में बोलना चाहूंगा इन द फोर्थ इनिंग इटसेल्फ आपके फास्ट बॉलर कैसी ही बॉलिंग करा रहे होंगे कि आपने नई बॉल सीधे एम्बुल्देनिया को दे दी कि आप जाओ
they did
कराओ
in the last
उसके
match as
बाद
well.
उसके बाद
They did
उसके बाद
last match as well.
दिलरुवन परेरा और रमेश मेंडिस आपने अपने फास्ट बॉलर्स को यूज ही नहीं किया एक पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम तक
Yeah.
आई मीन एक वो जो एक कही हुई चीज है कि नई बॉल शायद से फास्ट बॉलर को हेल्प करती है दे दो
भाई 2-2 3-3 ओवर तो दे सकते हो ना
I think they went
वो
desperate. वो desperate हो गए
Yeah.
कम target देते हैं. But if you have someone like a Lakman, Ranga Lakman in your side, so
At least use him.
use him. Use him for
Yeah,
2
but
overs.
रोहन
Whatever
मुझे
2
अभी
overs.
भी याद है रोहन मुझे अभी भी याद है वो कैलकाटा का टेस्ट जब लकमल ने मतलब नाको चने निकल नाको तले चने दबा दिए थे इंडियन बैट्समैन को याद है अतुल मतलब ऐसे विकेट गिराए थे उसने मतलब लकमल
Yeah.
एंड आई थिंक ही इज वन काइंड ऑफ अ बॉलर जिनको थोड़ी सी पुरानी पिच पे कभी कभी वो नहीं होता द बॉल स्किड्स ऑन एंड यू डू
yeah,
गेट दैट एडेड बेनिफिट बट वो एज ही सेड कि वो काफी डेस्परेट हो गए थे बिकॉज एम्बुल्देनिया डिड परफॉर्म ब्रिलियंटली तो वो तो सब बोल ही
yeah.
चुके हैं बट इट कुड हैव बीन मैनेज्ड अ बिट बेटर और सही में आपको दिख रहा है आपके पास 30 रन की लीड है आप जाके बल्ले चला रहे हो कि चंडीमल विकेट दे दिया ऐसे नहीं खेलते ना
Man, for people who understand Sinhalese or Tamil, Dick Vella's, commentary from behind the stumps was incredible. If you understand a little bit of that language, so I think that was the most positive part that you could take as a Sri Lankan
समझ
fan.
आएगा
I do understand
He
there
used
is
to
a
live in
Tamil fan
Chennai,
who
na?
he was in Chennai.
he used to live in Chennai brother he lived and worked in Chennai
Yeah, so little
of
Punyam Punyam.
the last time I remember Tamilians were speaking Tamil and Sinhalese is I presume is a different language is it
No, but
or am I just being
it is
there
slightly
is
different.
that
there
sort
is
of
an
similar
overlap.
origin similar origin
Similar origin, yeah.
अच्छा
Yeah, brother.
You know, there's a bridge
Kudos
connecting the
Prathamesh.
two countries. There's a bridge connecting the two countries.
Kudos
All right,
Prathamesh, but never
all
added to your
right.
CV. Yeah, fine.
Never
All
gonna
right.
add it to my CV.
Vipul actually says पहले इंडिया इंग्लैंड 5-0 यार 4 मैच सीरीज है
Four-
but I get the point 4-0 लग रहा था बट अब जो रूट को देख के दिल धक धक का हो रहा है अनुराग धक धक हो रहा है दिल
No, honestly not.
मुझे तो
like
जो
this.
रूट को देख के मजे आ गए भाई जो रूट की बैटिंग देख के क्या फील आ गया मतलब जब
भाई
तुम उस
कितना
बंदे
अच्छा
को
strike rate खेल रहा है यार
जब तुम उस बंदे को फैब 4 के कंटेंशन से बाहर करते हो ना वो बंदा कहता है रुको
Yeah.
मेरे
I
को
think
बैटिंग करने दो
Venugopalan
Venugopalan has
agrees
sorted
Tamil
it.
and Sinhalese are different.
Yeah, but they were
How
mixing
come
the
you can
languages.
agree?
Those are two
it's not about
official Sri
about
Lankan
them in the
languages.
same language
Yeah.
it's
Those were
Money
two
is
official
not-
languages of Sri Lanka.
So,
But
so
yeah.
basically, we are talking cricket. We are talking about Delhi and who is their father, and we are also talking about Tamil and Sinhalese. Like, I shouldn't be cricket daily. It should be random daily. Yeah.
No,
Yeah, that's
Anurag, it's related, right? A week back, there was a guy from Delhi who pulled out a cricket match in Brisbane with some brilliance. We saw in Sri Lanka what happened. So, kind of relation है यार, थोड़ा चलता है.
Anyway,
It's okay.
coming, I need to get to a few comments, boys. We can have this Sinhalese versus Tamil discussion on our own time. They're two separate languages, not to offend anyone, obviously. But people tell this to me too. Venugopal says, "Thank you, welcome to the comments, sir." People tell this to me too. They don't believe me when I say I'm from Delhi because they don't know who my father is. Bro, this is
Venugopal, it's perfectly all right. People don't believe me when I tell them I'm not a Punjabi. It's that kind of a thing.
Are you?
Oh,
no, he's
not.
What a
He's
thing
not
to be
yet.
knowing live.
Yeah.
Achha. Oh, sorry.
So Vipul says, Vipul again asking, I can't understand why. I can't.
I wish I could stand.
Am
I
I
wish I could
Can I-
stand.
Can I
Vipul,
please
consider me standing in the party.
answer this question? Can I please answer this question? See, Vipul,
Uh-huh.
he'll shift from Lasit Embuldenia to Lasit Malinga, and then he'll make the transition. You don't know that guy. You still don't know.
No, no. We will
Yes.
talk about Mumbai, but we will first discuss. Just Anurag, your last statement on this particular series. The good win for England, and it should set them up very nicely for the Indian tour that they have. A full Indian tour. Well, let me repeat it once again: 4 Test matches, 5 T20 matches, and 3 One Day internationals. So that's a long tour of India that the English have. You think they're heading into this as serious contenders. Also, Chanchal says Rohan Gulati's serious face doesn't suit you.
Everyone smiling. वो जो रूट की बात आ गई थी इंडिया में इसलिए सीरियस फेस बन गया था बट आई एम फाइन.
Yeah.
Yeah, Anurag.
Again,
Anurag,
I might be a little bit of a over-optimistic, overconfident person right now. But honestly, England as it stands doesn't scare me as much as some people think they are as good as that, because they are still struggling against decent spin. We have brilliant spin attack. Even our reserves are magnificent, and that is what we showed in Australia, didn't we? So I think we are in very
Anurag,
good hands.
Anurag,
Yeah.
Anurag, if अगर पीछे से Ben Foakes या Josh Butler या Bairstow after the second match, if they tell Virat throw a wicket away, he'll turn around, smash him in the face and with the head, with the bat. Okay. Okay, so
Kushal,
that
यार
I
तुम
think
तुम
Kushagra,
बेन
I think
फोक्स लाओ तुम या तो
I just think he'll just say कि टिम पेन का देखा था ना मुंह बंद करके क्या
Yeah, I think they'll learn from that. Yeah.
बेचारा अभी पानी डिस्ट्रीब्यूट
So
करता है
again,
यार. Feel bad for him.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't. No one really cares about that guy. But again, uh, coming to the England thing, I know Joe Root has been batting well, but again, I think we've had a decent hold on the guy in India whenever he came to India and the few times that he did.
Yeah.
He's a good player of spin. I think he's going to be a great challenge. But one thing that really plays into India's hands this series is, if you remember, just before the last day of the Brisbane Test, we were wondering what will the permutations and combinations be for the World Test Championship final. We were wondering if we lose that Brisbane Test, it would have been 4-0. 4-0 would have been a must for India. If had we drawn that test, it would have been 3-0 would have been a must, which even that was a difficult task. But out of the blue, we won that game. And now the task for us is to win by 2 test matches, which I don't think for this team, considering in home circumstances, in home conditions, that should not be a big task. I mean, yes, like two big teams taking on each other. Yes, it is a big task, but you know what I mean. India have been fantastic in home conditions recently, and after registering the greatest triumph in Indian cricket history, you are coming into this. There is a little bit of pressure. I get that, but I think I am way more. I think I'm just way too confident right now, and I'm so high up the Everest right now. I just hope someone doesn't kick me in the ass and I fall down. I think that would be very bad, but. I'm really expecting a lot of things. I'm not really that phased by the English team. Just come on, bhai, aa jao. क्या करना है देखेंगे. चल.
गुरु रोहन दास, आपके क्या लाइव सेशंस चल रहे हैं प्राइवेट जो हम लोग को पता नहीं है? ये क्या है ये? What is this infection of positivity that has seeped into the TSD entire fan forum and analyst?
Yeah.
बड़ी चौड़ी दिख रही है हम लोग की सबकी.
I think that's just the Brisbane effect. I think उसके बाद everybody अगर Brisbane का result हमारे favor में ना रहा होता, things would have been pretty different अभी भी, like considering the India tour also. But secondly, I just think India का जो home advantage है, that has been a very big factor. मतलब we have been very dominating at home. So I think that's where that positivity is coming from. But again, talking about Ahmedabad, it is still like some of like slightly unknown territory for us. Although the pitches will be suited to the home side, but still it is an unknown territory. कल हम लोग को like सैयद मुश्ताक में थोड़ा idea मिलेगा what is that ground and pitch all about. But again, test match will be different. It will be different in test matches. And the pink ball test again. Pink ball में I'll give it 50-50. I think that home advantage will go away with that pink ball. So it's like as Anurag said, 2-0 is still something you can expect now. Like I think that's not highly optimistic also. I think that's realistic if we are winning 2 matches.
रोहन की पॉजिटिविटी कम होती हुई दिख रही है यहाँ पे, लेकिन ठीक है.
I think that's a healthy dose of realism and positivity.
Yeah.
I that should be a good segue for us to move to South Africa versus Pakistan, or rather, I should call it Pakistan versus South Africa. South Africa touring past Pakistan after almost 13 years. Fantastic for cricket fans in Pakistan. I know. शायद आप लोग जाके स्टेडियम से मैचेस नहीं देख सकते हैं because I think the matches will still be held in isolation. But still, it must be heartening to see over the last 1.5 years, आप लोगों ने you've seen your team play test matches in your own country, and which I'm pretty sure, considering how much we've missed test cricket, as a panel and as fans all over, I'm sure that must have been a blessing for you guys. So, the test match starts in Pakistan, and I'll come to you, Manish, with a squad here first. In fact, rather before getting the squad, boys, for a couple of minutes, I'd like to take the comments because बहुत सारे comments have been building up.
Yeah.
I'll take the comments and I'll come straight to you, Manish, with both the squads, and give me your opinion.
Yeah.
And also, considering the fact that Karachi historically has been a batting paradise, so how do you see that match going there? So I'll come to you in a couple of minutes. All right?
Yeah.
All right. So I'll take a few comments, boys. Siddharth again is back in the comments with his fantastic opinions. Spot on, Pratmesh. Dunia had to bowl most of the overs in the second innings. Plus had Ramesh Pandey. Yes, I agree with him. Caught Butler off bowling. Who knows? Things could have been different. Just a personal opinion. मुझे लगा दोनों fourth innings में England at some point फंस गई थी England. Even in the last match, 49 for 3 with they were today also. When they lost Joe Root, I felt कुछ हो सकता था. Because Sibley hadn't been in great touch. Looked like he was under pressure.
Yeah. Kushagri, do you remember you yourself mentioned कि श्रीलंका दोनों टेस्ट मैच 5वें दिन तक ले जा ही नहीं पाई. वो 5वें दिन की जो पिच होती है जिसको एक्सप्लॉइट करने का चांस उनके पास.
वही सबसे दुख की बात है. Varun coming back into the comments. Most tests lost at home since 2015, 14 Sri Lanka, 12 England, 11 West Indies. I think that just shows you the problem that Sri Lanka are facing.
And probably 12 is a crazy statistic, by the way.
Yeah,
it's not, to be honest. Number of games played is
how many test matches England plays. Yeah. By England, बहुत matches खेलती test matches. England would have played more test matches than Sri Lanka and West Indies combined. I'm pretty sure of that. They would have played more test matches. Yeah. Venugopal again. ये दिल्ली और पापा वाला comment सब चले जा रहे हैं. Venugopal coming back. Sid being a Delhi वाला is my alter ego. बीच में वो वाला character बाहर आता है, especially on the cricket field. Venugopal, I mean, when COVID permitting, I would genuinely love to have like an intra TSD cricket match. Like, we could make TSD or V Express Sports की मिला के, players को मिला के दो टीमें बनाई, दो हाथ हो जाइए. Navjeevan coming back. All 10 wickets were taken by spinners. Yes, Navjeevan. I think Atul mentioned this, right? कि आपको कितना ही confidence है आपके fast bowlers पे that you're starting from the very first over with Dunia. Venugopal coming back. Every Delhi kid grows up chanting Ben Stokes, right?
I think Navjeevan is mentioning the Sri Lankan second innings because in the first inning, every wicket was taken by a fast bowler, and the second inning, Jack Leachman took all the wickets.
bowling average भी सुधार दिया लोगों ने.
It's both Kane Williamson and Joe Root do this thing, right? कि बोर हो गए, बहुत रन बना दिया थोड़ा.
Vipul says English spinners took all 10 wickets in Sri Lanka's second innings. So maybe Sri Lanka went to the spinners right away. Venugopal reiterating Anurag's point. Tamil and Sinhalese are different. Because point taken, sir. Ashwin says, I will remove half my mustache if Cheteshwar Pujara goes top against England spinners. Coming to the point, Pratmesh bhai, did you lose any challenge? No.
First of all, doesn't have a mustache, so I don't know where his comment comes from. Secondly, I didn't lose any mustache. I just looked at my photo from 3 years back and I thought I look good. So decided to do that. But the difference is I wasn't chubby then. I'm a little chubby now, so now it doesn't look as good. So, bad luck.
Yeah, so you've given yourself your own fitness goals, buddy. No one was more happy than the fan. Prakash is saying, Prakash, the batchmate, from college. So welcome, Prakash. No one was more happy than the fan who was watching from outside the stadium. That is true. Yeah. That is true. Shrikant comes back. Kushagar bhai, Virat will say, Delhi se hu Ben Stokes.
Ben Stokes.
Ben Stokes is already.
Varun says they're gonna prepare for Ashwin, Kuldeep / Sundar, but Ishan, Bumrah, Siraj would be out of syllabus for them. Yes. Sai FF says, I think this is the first time I've seen him in the comments. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the live, Sai. Thank you so much for joining us. Please do like and subscribe to the channel. Do switch on the click the notification button, because you'll know when we go live. We are live on all weekdays from 10 p.m. especially. And अगर match चल रहा होता है तो of course we cover weekends as well. His question says, who will be the key player for England in this test series, batsman and also bowler? We'll come to that, Sai. I'll just take a few more comments and I'll ask the panel about that as well. Vipul comes back. India very strong at home. They just lost 3 test matches in the last 10 years. Yes, I remember. Subhajit and Sid both.
2 to England and 1 to Australia. That's our list.
Subhajit and Sid both mentioning this particular fact in the lives last week. Varun comes back. King Kohli would love to take back his #1 test ranking. Yes, he would. I'm hoping for at least like 3 centuries in 4 matches, man. Like, he has missed out on too many centuries, and we need to do that. Vipul says, मुझे तो लगता है साउथ अफ्रीका 2019 टेस्ट सीरीज जैसा होगा. लोग स्पिनर्स की बात कर रहे जाएंगे और ईशान बुमराह बैंड बजा देंगे. यार बहुत मजा आ जाएगा. ईशान बुमराह से आके चली गई ना इंग्लैंड. बहुत ही मजा आ जाएगा. बहुत हंसेंगे हम लोग. Varun says 2-0, 3-0, 3-1 or 4-0 will do. 2-2 won't suffice for the World Test Championship finals. I am saying टेस्ट मैच क्यों देता है यार उनको. मैं तो कह रहा एक ही सेशन क्यों देना उनको यार.
सेशन भी देना उनको.
अच्छा, I know मैं बहुत बड़ी बात करूंगा. Just like Anurag, it's not like I'm overconfident in the Indian team. मुझे honestly Indian team, I don't find them good enough. I would have thought, New Zealand would have been a bigger challenge. New Zealand would have been a bigger challenge. They're more settled batting lineup. Australia अगर छोड़ के वापस आ जाती ना यहाँ पे, Australia would have been a bigger challenge. I felt their batsmen play spin better. And Joe Root, fantastic, but it's just one batsman, right? Ben Stokes has not played cricket since forever. Josh Butler is going after the first test match. Johnny Bairstow is not there in the first 2 test matches. Sam Curran is not there in the first 2 test matches. Moeen Ali did not take part in this tour in Sri Lanka. And, there are rumors that they'll not play Broad and Anderson together. They'll play them in, alternate test matches. So, at best, I can see their chances in the pink ball test match, which again, I do not know why BCCI is encouraging the pink ball format, because it does not work. There is a genuine optical issue in terms of viewing and sighting the ball at night, that pink ball, which is used because it looks better on the television for the broadcasters, not really for the batsmen. Hence the spectrum of light. If we go into that technicality, I can actually, do a show with Anurag or Atul or Pratnesh, one of them. We can actually get into the proper scientific aspect of it, how the spectrum of light is not actually picked up by the batsman. And because it is not picked up by the batsman, hence it's a detrimental concept to the equality between the bowlers and the batsmen in the game. So, yeah, I mean, Malar says, Pratnesh on point. I don't agree with you.
Many topics.
Sorry, Anurag, didn't catch you there.
Anyways, we don't have a lot of topics to discuss on cricket series, so exit kar lenge.
Pratnesh, has your loyalty shifted to Delhi too since you moved to Delhi? I don't think, Malar, that can ever happen. Venugopal says, absolutely ever ready for a game of cricket. So are we, sir. So are we. Navjeevan says, header in BBL tomorrow. Yes, man, we'll cover it in the live tomorrow evening. We'll be covering that. And also a very happy Republic Day in advance to all of you, the panel and everyone watching. Since it is the Republic Day tomorrow, and we'll be. Afzal says, Ben Stokes arrived at his adopted home. Everyone loves him here. Yes. Anyone who beats Australia
right now.
Anyone who beats Australia, as we had it in our other interview, on the channel the other day, anyone who beats Australia is a favorite for the English and also a for the Indians as well. So,
yes. Kushal, it was an exclusive one from Richard Matty. We need to make it clear.
Yeah. Don't underestimate Joe Root, the off spinner. He has dismissed Steve Smith twice in Test cricket. Although after Smith got a double century, मैं तो कह रहा हूँ विराट भी दे दे यार डबल के बाद विकेट क्या फर्क पड़ता है मतलब. Why are all taking Ben Stokes का name? Maybe I think in the comments someone will answer your particular question. I don't want to answer it on the live, but yeah, maybe on an offline discussion we can let you know. Afzal says the last series he lost to England again was against England in 2012 when KP and Cook were carving our bowlers all over the park. Let's also not forget, Afzal, that was the end of that particular era of that bowling attack. We had got an aging spinning
And
attack. We had got an
batting.
aging batting, aging spinning, and uncertain fast bowling attack wherein we had a lot of injuries and undercooked bowlers. I think it's going to be extremely difficult. Afzal with a fantastic comment. Archer will be key. Yes,
Yeah.
Afzal. Archer will be.
Yeah.
आई थिंक एंडरसन ब्रॉड से ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट हम लोग को आर्चर को फेस करना होगा. अब एंडरसन ब्रॉड से ज्यादा तेज तो कोहली भी डालता है. ओके नहीं थोड़ा
You
ज्यादा हो
know,
गया.
Kushagra, if I could just a small thing, if I could say, I think there was one comment where they said don't underestimate Joe Root. It's not that we are trying to underestimate Joe Root, but is he still in that? You know, there was a point when Steve Smith was absolutely scary, wasn't he? Like there was a point when Virat Kohli was like that, scary. Like irrelevant of how good the bowling attack is, that'll be this guy is going to get on top of them and perhaps score a lot of runs. And anything less than 400, 500 runs would have been a disappointment in a 4-match series. Joe Root said, yes, I think what I feel is it's going to be a fantastic contest because it's two heavyweights clashing against each other. That should be fun. But at the same time, I don't think anyone has a very clear advantage. So that's why I think, let's see.
All right. I think I'll just take this comment. I'll not be able to read it, of course. All cricket predicted. I think he's giving us a plug for his updates on all T20 and all ODI match reports. So if anyone wants to go there, please check him out in the comments. Coming back to, because he's been commenting a lot on our lives, and we generally do tend to miss out. I hope nothing offensive in that particular statements he's written, because I cannot read the language, so I cannot really be sure what he's saying. But I'm assuming he's talking about live updates. Boys, Manish, I know I've kept you on hold for over 10 minutes now. I'm going to read out the squad. I'll read out the South African squad first for you. You can just give me a reaction on that South African squad and how do you think they might take on the Pakistanis. The squad for the test matches is Quinton de Kock as the captain, of course, Temba Babuma, Aiden Markram, Faf du Plessis, Dean Elgar, Kagiso Rabada, Dwayne Pretorius, Keshav Maharaj, Lungi Angidi, Rassi van der Dusen, Andrik Nokia, Vian Mulder, Lutho Sipamla, Buren Hendricks, Kyle Berain, Cyril Ervi, again, few players I've never heard of, Keegan Peterson, Tabrez Shamsi, of course, we've heard of him, George Linda, we've heard of him, Darren Dupavilion, I think this must be his first tour, and Marco Janssen. Marco Janssen is another player I've heard of. So, a few newcomers, Manish, but again, South Africa seemed to be in a good nick. Even though it was a battered and bruised Sri Lankan team in South Africa, they ended up losing so many players to injury. South Africa did perform very well, and Faf du Plessis and Dean Elgar and even Aiden Markram looked in fantastic form. Even Vian Mulder was quite impressive in that particular series. So, how do you think South Africa will shape up, considering one of the test matches is in Pindi, Rawalpindi, where historically it supports fast bowlers more than as compared to Karachi, which is a batting paradise.
Yeah.
So coming to the point, like you said about Rawalpindi, if I look at the squad, the first thing that strikes me is they have got good experience in batting. And if I look at the bowling attack, that strikes me out. Like the combination of Rabada and Rotier, that is something. Okay, what did I miss?
Carry on.
No.
He's talking about clean shapes. Anyway, carry on, Manish.
So if I look at the bowling attack, it shows me a lot of confidence, especially going to Pakistan, where bowlers are going to dominate at Rawalpindi and maybe a bit at Karachi. The bowling attack is something that's going to trouble Pakistan a lot, because we know Pakistan's batting is something that's always been Pakistan's problem. Kuch naya nahi hai usme. So bowling wise, I think they're really good. Spin options, maybe not that. They could have something more experience, but I don't know where they're going to get that experience. But yeah, and in terms of batting, they have the experience of du Plessis. There's Dean Elgar, who did well, and there's Quinton de Kock, the captain, who has been performing well. So it looks a very well settled. There are a few gaps over here and there, but I think they're going to batter Pakistan. That is my first feeling if I look at this squad, and if I look at the Pakistan squad as well. I have a feeling they're going to batter them really hard. Like nothing against them, against the Pakistan squad, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That for me, it's a slightly bold prediction, isn't it, Anurag? Because I'll read out the Pakistani team to you, and also Manish. Akshay's out there. You, I'll just take a few comments why people were laughing. Geeta Mani is in else I'll tell Mr. Amani to take over TSD and we Express Sport. Mr. Amani,
can't you do it yourself?
Can't you do it?
Chicken with yourself, right?
Akshay talked about the clean shave gang. That means clean shave Ajwa. And Akshay also asking Geeta Mani, ma'am, any place?
Oh God,
Man.
oh God.
Akshay is the man who asks the right questions, right? He is the man asking the right questions. भाई बाकी तुम टेक ओवर करो ना करो मेरे को प्लेसमेंट दे दो तुम मेरे
और क्या? He's always got his hand on the pulse, right on point. Coming back to you, Anurag.
The guy already hasn't had a good day, right? So he's probably just trying to make his day better today. So, good try, Akshay.
Once again, we'll do a football content tomorrow. People, please do, watch the particular video. There should be some interesting content, your way. Anurag, I'll read out the Pakistani squad for you, and maybe you can take a punt at giving us an opinion की how this particular test series might go. And जैसा मनीष ने बोला, थोड़ा तो मुश्किल होगा, पाकिस्तान में काफी मुश्किल होगा because साउथ अफ्रीका के पास ऐसे 2-3 बॉलर्स हैं जो 145-150 टच कर सकते हैं. And whatever said and done, कैसी भी conditions हो, we even saw on the very low and somewhat non-assisting track in the UAE, वहाँ पे भी Andrik Nokia खेलना मुश्किल था. वहाँ पे भी
fans cannot really escape that. So how was the weekend, buddy? How was the performance of between Klopp and Dyche?
We will have to. Yeah, I think it was Manish.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Thanks, man. He's trying to. I think he switched on our live from the very beginning. Pakistan squad back again. Anurag, I think money. Yeah, we good.
Manish is doing
as much as मुझे अपने आप से प्यार है और मुझे अपनी आवाज से थोड़ा सा थोड़ी सी hint of modesty दिखाना चाहूंगा, even though fake है, I agree, but थोड़ी सी दिखाना चाहूंगा.
Manish, just a small thing. Manish, just a small thing. I know out of the 11 viewers that we have right now, almost 9 of us belong to each other. Like, मैं YouTube पे I know
trade secrets नहीं देते हैं.
चिल्ला के scheme मत. Yeah.
Trade secrets.
So
nice.
Yeah, coming back to the Pakistan squad. Okay, fine. So again,
Babar Azam, of course.
So
captain.
I think,
Babar is. I'll just read out the squad, Anurag. If you can just comment right after that, give me 30 seconds. Babar Azam is the finally captaining in his first Test series, and we hope that it's going to be a fantastic series for him because he's a wonderful, marvelous player. Abid Ali, Abdullah Shafiq, Imran Butt, Azhar Ali, Fawad Alam, Kamran Gulam, Salman Ali Agha, Saud Shakil, Fahim Ashraf, Mohammad Nawaz, Mohammad Rizwan, Sarfaraz Ahmad, Nauman Ali, Sajid Khan, Yasir Shah, Haris Rauf, Hassan Ali, Shaheen Shah Afridi, and Tabish Khan. These are the players that have been named in the squad. Of course, playing 11, we'll only know at the toss tomorrow. But looking at the squad, do you concur with Manish's point, Anurag, that Pakistan will face a very difficult time trying to get a handle of this South African attack? Because personally, मुझे लगता है कि Pakistan might surprise us, in this particular series, because I feel Pakistan might actually do South Africa here.
That is the thing with Pakistan, isn't it? Who expected them to win the Champions Trophy final? Not one person with a little bit of brain, besides Ramiz Raja, but again, a different thing. So what I feel is, some of the players that they've picked, I think it's really interesting, especially Tabish Khan, let it be, nominally. All of these people, nominally, I think is just about crosses 30s. Tabish Khan on the wrong half of 30s. they yet to make their international debuts. I think I won't say anything good or bad about them. I'll just say I'm looking forward to see how they'll pan out. But again, they've made some interesting choices, and it seems like at least one of them will play. So again, is it because I don't know? I don't know where do they think they lack that feisty youngsters. But again, Tabis Khan has been performing so well over the years, apparently in List A and first class cricket. So again, good thing. Debuting at the age of 36, 37, that in itself is an achievement. Kudos to the man. I hope he does well. But yeah, I think I do concur with Manish here. Pakistan look a little fragile. But again, playing on home soil after God knows how many years, I think that should be such a boost. And it's like the weather conditions. It's like there is comfort in the air when you're in your home conditions. Now, if I come to Delhi during a December, I'd feel incredibly uncomfortable. It's a bit like that. I don't want to play. I don't want to be there. Yeah, exactly. So it's a bit like that, right? I don't think they ever felt at home at Abu Dhabi or Dubai or Sharjah. I don't think they ever did so. But I think this, I think, is going to be a big mood changer for Pakistan cricket. It's great, and Quinton de Kock also has commented that they've really appreciated the amount of security and everything that's been provided to them. So all's good. Let's hope the cricket should be the only talking point. Hopefully, I'd rather have Pakistan being a top than some other say any other nation, because that's where you get more feisty banters and more cricket material you to work upon. So let's see. But I think South Africa are a little ahead. Although even they are going through a transition period, they have their own things. But yeah, let's see.
It seems like it's a process, and maybe South Africa are a couple of stages ahead of Pakistan in that particular process, maybe.
Yeah.
But again,
definitely.
I won't really pass any judgment on this South African team. First of all, they were quite soundly beaten in whatever little matches England could play in that ill-fated tour of South Africa, which unfortunately had to be called off because of COVID breaches and the bio bubbles there. And then they beat a Sri Lankan team which had lost so many players, first of all, to injury. Then again, we've seen Sri Lanka devoid of a bit of quality. So I think personally, मुझे लगता है ये South African team playing in South Africa ये लोग बेहतर हैं. पाकिस्तान में बहुत रियल टेस्ट होगा. कराची में जहां बॉल टर्न भी करेगी और जहां बॉल थोड़ी लो रहेगी, इतनी असिस्टेंस नहीं मिलेगी उनके फास्ट बॉलर्स को. अगर पाकिस्तानी बैट्समैन टिक गए फर्स्ट सेशन, I can see them scoring bucket loads of runs, because again, South Africa only have pacers and more pacers to turn to. And if Pakistan can negotiate the likes of Tabriz and Keshav Maharaj well, then I can see some real problems for South Africa. I'll take a few comments, because clearly Miss Ambani and Mr. Ambani are having their own banter here. Akshay says, Manish, gussa hi ho gaya yaar tu to. This I guess is with respect to you having left the live because of the electricity issues. Mukesh is sorry asking, Meeta Ambani idhar kya kar rahi ho? People saying, अरे मुकेश अंकल भी आ गए. अक्षय कहता है, मैं खुद लाइव के बाद 2 बार देखता हूँ लाइव सेशन. Akesh Akshay again saying, Mukesh bhai hi.
तुम्हारा क्लासमेट आया है तुमने वो आकाश.
Mukesh bhai saying, Mukesh Ambani saying, Neeta तुम भी रोज लाइव देखती हो क्या? अक्षय कमिंग बैक, पाकिस्तान जीते तो रोहन एंड मनीष क्लीन शेव करेंगे. क्यों, क्या हुआ रोहन?
अबे उनके लिए हम क्यों भाई, वो मतलब उनके लिए हम क्यों बलि चढ़े? ना कुछ लेना देना, ना हमें कुछ प्यार है उनसे.
If history says anything, never bet on Pakistan.
Exactly, भाड़ में जाए वो लोग.
अरे coming back,
I get it.
Yeah. Let's not. People say Pratmesh बेचारा 3 दिन से MIT टिक्का टी-शर्ट पहन के आ रहा है. I think आज भी खाली हाथ वापस जाना पड़ेगा उसे. People पता है, I think that is why we are being a-holes to him, because वो पहन के आता. जिस दिन नहीं पहन के आएगा उस दिन पक्का डिस्कस करेंगे. But we'll discuss it today. Akshay don't This is lovely. This, I mean, जो भी है,
we have the most
मैंने account
creative
बना के
fans.
रखा है ना.
Like
I
we
love you,
have the
man.
we have the most creative fans ever, guys. Because people have come by the names of Bruno Fernandes, Tim Payne. I guess people have also
Albert
come by
Einstein.
Albert Einstein. क्या चल रहा है? अब
Guys, I don't think it's a
और
fan.
आज नीता और मुकेश भी आ गए.
I think there are real Ambanis out there, so please. It should be, guys, it should be.
क्यों नहीं? क्यों नहीं?
Actually, yeah,
Nita
man
Mani,
can always go. Yeah.
Nita Mani responding, to Mukesh. Mukesh, Mumbai Indians के लिए आई हूँ, but लगता है अब इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेट में इन्वेस्टमेंट करना पड़ेगा. Vipul saying, there's nothing much we can discuss about MI squad. आज MI owners के को discuss कर सकते हैं. मुकेश says, okay, इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेट में भी इन्वेस्ट करेंगे, पैसा ही पैसा होगा.
Have you noticed Mukesh bhai has a DP with the S?
We have lovely fans.
Varun says, will Park and SA series be telecasted in India? Yes, Varun.
Yes.
Sony Turner have got the rights. They've gotten the agreement with PCB. So thankfully, we'll see some live cricket from Pakistan. And I hope, considering India में सबकी कल छुट्टी है, I hope we have a fantastic first days of play. थोड़ा at least competitive रहे. Both the teams, whoever is batting, whoever is bowling. We see a contest, real contest there. Akshay again says, वापस गुस्सा हो गया यार मनीष. नहीं यार अक्षय थोड़ा उसका electricity चल रहा है.
Yeah, sensitive. Yeah.
51 minutes, and Atul, ये धूम ताना moment है because we head back to IPL. And before heading back, I have taken Manish and Anurag's predictions. Atul, Rohan, Pratmesh, just quickly give me your predictions for the first test match. Who are you putting as favorites, Pakistan or South Africa? Pratmesh, tu bol pehle.
Man, this is a difficult one. I'm actually putting Pakistan as favorites because I feel they will have that little emotional
Monologue मध्ये prediction दे.
Because अभी इसके बाद मुंबई है.
तेरे को ऐसी you have to talk about Mumbai Indians.
Pakistan.
Atul.
South Africa.
Rohan.
Pakistan.
Pakistan for me. So it's a split panel here. I think 3 for Pakistan, 3 for South Africa. And Varun says, thank God, I'm assuming thank God, yes, but Varun, वापस IPL में आ गए हैं. And वापस IPL में आ गए, तो we cannot, we've ignored you for 3.5 sessions, Pratmesh, with respect to...
So we talk about Delhi Capital first, and that's the end of the live today. That was very brilliant from our end.
मैंने
let him have his day under the tube light because sun तो है नहीं अभी रात में 11 बजे.
यार मैं इधर 3 किलोमीटर के अंदर एक रेस्टोरेंट में खाना खा के आता हूँ. Then just let me know.
Wouldn't that be beautiful, like having a whole episode on MI with Pratmesh's monologue, and he is the only one talking there, and that's like too good of an episode. वो telecast
but I'm sure he will cover everything. And before we banter him more, Mumbai Indians, the defending champions, the most successful IPL franchise in the history of the IPL, of course. And personally for me, Anurag, Anna 2 minutes बाद जाने वाले. Vipul says, Anurag, I hope that is just something that Vipul is saying, that you're not leaving. Anyway, coming back to my introduction for the Mumbai Indians, we've seen their owners in the comments. Pranam Mani and Mani ji, and secondly, Pratmesh talking about Mumbai Indians. Fantastic squad, a complete squad, fantastic management, a fantastic captain, and मैं कितनी बार fantastic बोलूँगा, but actually a very very well run team. Even abhi if you could be so kind to put up their retained and released list. And maybe I can just have a little word around it, then please give us your thoughts on it. And if you are actually disappointed with any releases, or you might have actually not retained a few players, I mean, it is completely up to you. I'll just read the 18 retained and the few unretained or released players. Retained, of course, number 1 is Rohit Sharma, the captain, Kieron Pollard, the vice captain, Hardik Pandya, Trent Bolt, Quinton de Kock, Suryakumar Yadav, Jasprit Bumrah, Rahul Chahar, Ishan Kishan, Krunal Pandya, Chris Lynn is surprising, Dhaval Kulkarni, Mohsin Khan, Anukul Roy, Aditya Tare, Saurabh Tiwari, Jayant Yadav, and Anmol Preet Singh. The released players include Lasith Malinga, who has retired now, Nathan Coulter-Nile, the one that Pratmesh wanted to add on to anyone and everyone. James Pattinson. James Pattinson is disappointing that they've released him. With Pratmesh personally, so I felt he was good in the UAE. Only in the latter stages, like the last fag end of the tournament, he wasn't that as effective. But they must have their reasons. They must have an eye on another fast bowler. It could actually be Kyle Jamieson. Sherfane Rutherford, Mitchell McLean, Digvijay Deshmukh, and Prince Balwant Rai. Okay, Pratmesh. Any release players that you might have kept on?
I actually agree with what they've released because, talked about James Pattinson. He also got an injury just before the third India-Australia test. So even that is going to be a major one for him. Lasith Malinga obviously
Is it a
retired.
serious injury?
It is a
Sort of,
serious
yeah.
injury, and again, it is a serious injury. So it didn't make sense to keep him on, and then he has to recover and then come to India and then perform. It will be really difficult. I think Nathan Coulter-Nile, I had mixed opinions about him. I still feel that he could be useful, especially in Indian conditions, because I think he has got good variations. But again, he was not really playing pretty well, so it kind of made sense. I think the only game which he played well was the IPL final. Thank God for us. But otherwise, he had a pretty offbeat tournament, you could say. And the other players, I think Digvijay Deshmukh, Prince Balwant Rai, they haven't really been pretty much in the plans anyway. So it made sense. Rutherford is an interesting one because that guy actually carried a Mumbai Indians bag or a helmet to the PSL, showing his loyalty, and there he gets released. So that's a little funny story in a sense. But
Yeah,
I think they've been pretty spot on, and I think you were right. They have 15.5 crores in their bag. They have 4 overseas players slots remaining, so it
They
will be
have one
interesting.
Pat Cummins in their bag.
Oh, I genuinely wish if that trade could happen, I would genuinely take it with.
Take him. Take him.
कमेंट मिसेस अंबानी और मिस्टर अंबानी को बताइए क्या करेगा.
Yeah. So yeah,
हमें हार्दिक रोहित क्विंटन सब दे दो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, ले लो.
yeah, good luck
Like the
with that.
worst dealing ever.
हमारा
It's like-
सूर्य कुमार वापस दे दो, मैं उतने में ही खुश हूँ भाई.
Yeah, for all the people who are actually puzzled a little bit about what happened in the Surya Kumar deal. Surya Kumar in 2011 was signed on initially by the Mumbai Indians. He never got to play as much in the Mumbai Indians setup, but then he was let go because Mumbai Indians already during that time felt that they had enough players in the middle order. When he went back to the KKR, when he actually went to the KKR setup, rather, he was proving a pretty explosive batsman. And Mumbai brought him in once again, and after that used him as an opener. And then eventually they've started to, as he started to mature a little bit more, they've used it at number 3, and he's done wonders. You could see last season as well. But I think the one player that Mumbai will definitely be buying in the auctions will be Kyle Jamieson. One of the reasons being is that the Wankhede pitch still has a little bit of, it is a lively pitch. I think that is one of the very rare pitches in India, which is actually pretty decent for the fast bowlers. So I think someone like Kyle Jamieson, who has got good all-round abilities, will be helpful. Also, Kieran Pollard might be coming towards the fag end of his career. So I think Mumbai look at Pollard more like a combination of his experience, leadership abilities, along with the skills on the pitch. So I think that is where someone like Kyle Jamieson would actually come in handful. I won't be shocked if Mumbai Indians actually go for Shakib Al Hasan. I know Krunal Pandya has been doing pretty similar role. I mean, obviously not as good as Shakib, but Krunal Pandya's impact in this setup is really huge. Also, if they feel that there are certain pitches like Bangalore where it's going to be a mountain of runs that are going to be scored anyway, they might use Krunal Pandya and Shakib Al Hasan and not play any spinner from the bowling side together. So I think that is one thing that Mumbai Indians will be looking to mix and match in the auction. 15.5 crore is a pretty hefty purse to have. So you can still get in two really decent players, probably more than decent players. And Kyle Jamieson himself will go for around, I think, 12, 13 crore. If you're going all in for Jamieson, you've pretty much left everything else apart. But if they don't get him, I think Shakib Al Hasan will be one of the players Mumbai Indians could possibly eye on. Also, there has been talks of Kuldeep Yadav being targeted by Mumbai Indians for around 6 crores. So that in a trading deal, I don't think is going to happen.
Pratmesh, we could see a scenario जहाँ पे KKR Shakib ले ले और they let Kuldeep go. That is also possible. That is also very
Yeah,
much on the
that
card.
could very much happen, and I think that could, if it was for KKR, I think it would make pretty decent sense because I feel they need someone like Shakib in the first place. And for Mumbai Indians, getting Kuldeep won't be such a bad idea because left arm Chinaman player, spinner anyway is a difficult art to pick up. So it's going, and the 1 KD boundary straight or slightly long, and Kuldeep Yadav likes to bowl
Yeah,
more within the stump. So I think that in that sense it actually helps him. With the breeze going from the Wankhede Stadium from one side to the other, it also actually favors in the evening towards the longer side of the boundary. So
true.
it becomes easier at the Wankhede to actually preserve that one side that is near the Garware, if I'm not wrong. So
Yeah.
looking at all that, I feel Mumbai Indians have done a pretty good job. Slightly was disappointed by Mitchell McLennigan also leaving because I think he has still got a little bit left in him, but I think they're looking to get different foreign players with a view to the future.
All right. Coming to you, Rohan. Manish, do you have a point?
Yeah, so pretty much what Prathamesh said was pretty much spot on. Is just that the one thing which he said about Mumbai might not play a spinner somewhere in Bangalore is something that's one thing which I cannot see happening in the coming edition. I don't think they're ever going to drop Rahul here unless he's going to a rough patch of form or they want to give him rest because he was fantastic for in the
Yeah,
previous season, and he has been fantastic for the past seasons as well. So that is something
yeah,
which I don't see is going to happen. But again, the
yeah, but
Shakib thing, Shakib
yeah,
Al Hassan coming back into the auction, that's going to be a really interesting one. So
yeah. In that
Yeah,
case, only
and
if Shakib and Krunal both are playing, it might just slightly make a little sense if they're looking at strengthening their batting for that particular game. So it might just give Mumbai a different dimension to try on. It may not necessarily mean that Rahul Chah probably gets injured, and then what do Mumbai Indians do then if they don't have a backup spinner? I think this would actually help them to actually, get something different out of their game. And Kunal Pandya is no mug a bowler. I think he's got good Yorkers in him as well. That's a pretty unique skill for a left arm spinner. But I think it looks solid anyway, and should be disappointing if Mumbai Indians don't get to the final again. Actually,
yeah, true. I mean, I would again once again put them as the outright favorites. Even with the just the sheer depth of the squad in terms of the retentions, and I think they've planned very well, as they almost always do, and they do have a few options that they can go for. I just don't want like again Kyle Jamieson. I know he's going to be one of the most sought after players, but really let him play a little bit more. ना मतलब आपने उसको न्यूजीलैंड में देख लिया और आप इतना पैसा फेंक रहे हो उस पे
yeah.
let's see, maybe he might work. He
And
might
that
work in
one
India
thing has
maybe.
changed. That one thing Kushagra has actually changed since Akash Ambani's taken over. Because I feel he doesn't go after players who have been like recent hits. He gives more faith to people who've actually done well in the circuit before. And that blend of experience and youth and a little bit of that X factor is what Mumbai Indian setup usually looks for. Someone like Mahila Jayawardene is especially good at that. So I feel it
Cool.
looks more likely at this point of time that Mumbai could go for Shakib, but it won't be shocking that if Mumbai go for Kyle Jamieson because Mumbai have a history of trying to go for the most obvious picks as well. So let's see how they go in the auction. It's going to be interesting to watch. Although I don't think Mumbai will bid on a lot of players, but whomever they do, it's going to be a tough fight for the other team because they are going to bet probably on not more than two or three players.
I think Kyle Jamieson has written under his contract. I think play bold लिखा हुआ है उसके contract के नीचे. This is a typical RCB signing, and I
Yeah,
can see him. I can see him holding an RCB cap or a shirt or whatever when he comes and makes his debut. Vipul says MI के discussion चालू हो रहा है इसलिए. This is the respect to Anurag Anna 2 मिनट बाद जाने वाले. Don't worry, Vipul. Anurag Anna अभी दिल्ली के बारे में बात करेंगे. So there is something for Anurag Anna to talk about. Vipul says apart from one game where whenever Bumrah had an off day, MI lost in IPL 2020. Yes, I mean,
yeah.
I think he means the one game when Bumrah had an off day, MI did not lose in IPL 2020, which is actually quite. This is a indicator of how strong the squad is. Anita Mani says, "Star ने Jamieson के लिए जगह खाली किए हैं. Don't worry, MI fans. Good vibes, of course."
I won't want Stark, man. That's the last player I want in this
नहीं,
entire
there's a
auction.
there's a comment. There's a comment by Vipul actually. Vipul says, according to Pratmesh Bhai, MI only buy good utility players, so they bought Nikhil Kulkarni at 8 crores. Yes, he's not been a great buy. Let's accept that. Akshay says Surya Kumar Yadav ki biography. This is a funny comment by Vipul. Vipul says, आत्माराम भिड़े अपने जमाने की बात कर रहा है, ऐसी फील आ रही है आज प्रथमेश को देख के.
That was nice.
Kunal Pandya is a medium player.
He's not far away. He's not far away from
And here's the comment. Vipul asking Neeta Ambani, Neeta start to March में injured हो जाएगा. That is also true.
भाई it is Neeta Ambani at Neeta क्या कर रहे थे? She's not your auntie.
Otherwise, I wanted to say a bit more, but
Mrs. Ambani coming back at Vipul. James Neesham and Shakib backup हैं.
They are on first name basis, man.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Vipul का नाम Vipul actually है, but Vipul actually is doing well. So that is true.
Yeah.
And moving on from Mumbai Indians, because once again, I'll just take a quick view of the panel. मैंने और मनीष ने थोड़ा बात किया है और प्रथमेश ने of course बात किया है. Quick word, one line answer from the three of you. Guys, do you expect Mumbai Indians to be the favorites once again? Rohan, we'll start with you, then go to Atul and then Anurag.
No.
No, I knew this was coming.
Oh God.
Look at his reaction, right? Look at his build up to saying no.
Nonchalantly magnificent.
No.
Yeah.
He was like, no. He just wanted to just say very.
I had one question to ask. Do we have any update on Krunal Pandya's thing that happened with Baroda?
No, we don't.
I think let's not chat about that Pandya brothers.
Just asking a question. Just asking.
Yeah, I know. That's a very controversial topic because I don't think we have complete information. But accusations were made by Deepak Hooda with respect to bullying and with respect to mistreatment by the captain of the Baroda team, which is Krunal Pandya. He claimed that certain threats were made against his position in the team, and with respect to his the certainty of him being selected in the team now. Let's be very honest, Deepak Hooda is a seasoned cricketer who's played IPL for a very long time, who's been part of the Indian domestic circuit for almost a decade. He's a successful under-19 player as well. So, he has his own standing there. But, Krunal Pandya is an international cricketer who's played for India. And so, all of that, all of that. But just to answer your point, Deepak Hooda is left out of the Baroda squad now. So, that's the thing as well.
He has been banned.
He left himself, didn't he?
He left himself.
He has been banned. He has been banned by the Baroda Cricket Association for this whole season as of now.
Yeah.
So
That's rough.
There is no clarity on this thing. Actually, it may be anyway. So
Yeah, we can make speculations, but thank you, Atul, for bringing a totally unrelated topic and totally ruining the discussion. Thank you, Atul.
income tax वाला तो बच गया था. Krunal Pandya इससे भी बच गया. It seems like that.
Oh, come on, चलो यार छोड़ो यार. चलो Atul तू prediction देना क्या फालतू बातें कर.
just to sum it up, we would want both the players back, like on the field playing.
Yes,
precisely.
So
Positivity, Maharaj. Yes.
Yeah. So carry on.
Atul.
ऐसा कोई प्रेडिक्शन है नहीं एमआई को लेके. टॉप 4 में आते ही हैं वो, तो आई थिंक वही रहेगा. उसके बाद उनकी फेट है, जीतना होगा जीतेंगे. टॉप 4 तो बेसिकली मैं मान के चल ही रहा हूं.
मैंने पूछा ही नहीं ना. मैं ही
I know you're not interested about Mumbai Indians, but the levels of uninterest shown inside those 10 seconds, trust me.
Both of them are KKR boys, are fantastic.
No, it's not Kushagra. It's not about being
Kushagra, just understand.
I just said कि top 4 में they anyway make it because that's good of a team they are. And बाकी fate पे है because वो off days जैसे कि
You didn't sound like this.
Yeah, Kushagra.
I always have 3 backups for something I say in the first place.
Kushagra, the most number of wins by any team against any team in the IPL is Mumbai Indians beating KKR 20 times. So
he had to break that.
You can understand.
That's actually a brilliant record, to be honest. Rohit Sharma
says
he loves playing at Eden. He loves playing at Eden, so it's a wonderful thing.
रोहित का फेवरेट ग्राउंड है ईडन तो.
It
Yeah,
used to be, and
he
then he
He
said
said
कि he
Gaba.
loves SCG or Perth. He
He
said
said
Gaba,
Gaba.
Gaba.
I'm pretty sure it's Dombivli where he used to play. Whatever.
Yeah,
चल
तो नहीं agenda नहीं
coming
था.
back. प्रथमेश, बहुत लोगों को डोंबिवली पता ही नहीं होगा, जो लोग देख रहे होंगे. That's the whole point.
Manish को होगा.
Anurag, your prediction for Mumbai, and then if you know, I'll read a couple of comments, please. Yes, Vipul also says Delhi Capitals now, please. Yes, Vipul, we're coming to Delhi Capitals. Anurag, just your one final line on Mumbai Indians, and then we'll start the Delhi squad.
All the best.
Yeah, please, Rahane.
See, I think one thing, they have a brilliant team. They've been working on it for a long time, so I think
Dombivli belongs to Rahane.
Oh God!
Oh God!
I'm losing this. I'm absolutely losing it right now. So
Let's
I
create this
think they'll be back in contention next season.
Yeah, for sure. I'll read the comments. You guys will know why Anurag's laughing like this.
Yeah.
Vipul is apologizing. Sorry, Nita auntie, I apologize. Then Anurag.
Auntie कह रहे हैं मैम बोल.
Akshay Kadam says new champion this season. Akshay भाई पिछले साल भी यही सोचा था. Deepak, actually, we've read his comment out. Mukesh Ambani said, well said, Anurag. Auntie बोल.
मैं चप्पल निकाल के ऐसे नमस्कार कर रहा हूँ अभी.
Akshay says, Amit Mishra, MVP की बातें करो यार. Let's talk about Delhi Capitals now. Yes, sir, we're coming to Delhi.
Yes.
Malinga is
Vipul
coming
says,
for your record.
ये देखो Vipul comment. No, Dombivli belongs to Rahane. It does. You know, entire India
does,
belongs to
yeah.
Rahane. And
Yeah,
it does. Ricky Ponting won't let Punch stand behind me again. Otherwise, Sehwag and Wasim Jaffer would make a meme out of it.
Man, I want to really know who are these creative people who are actually commenting in such a good.
Vipul says, guys, Delhi Capitals coach is here. Yes, he indeed is. Goyal, I think this is the first time I've seen you here. Just for your information, Goyal, agar aap jao, if you have a look at the Thursday live, if I'm not wrong, Thursday live was the time when we discussed the bottom four teams, and unfortunately, Kings 11 was a part of that particular group of teams, and you will find a detailed discussion on the squad there. Once the auctions happen, mini auctions happen, हम लोग फिर से what we will do is we'll dedicate an episode each to each team, because I know interests in IPL is very high, and we'll keep coming out with those episodes. We'll discuss them briefly on the lives, but separately we'll record the so-called analysis on the squads, and so that you can know our opinions on the squads. And also, thank you so much.
Just a cheap plug, by the way. Daryl Cullinan has come back to commentary, and he's going to be there in the commentary team between South Africa and Pakistan. And now coming to the plug, which I actually wanted to make, do catch our video with Daryl Cullinan on our TSD channel. He has talked extensively about South African cricket and the issues that they were facing at one point of time, maybe still are. So,
Guys, another cheap plug. मैंने एक article लिखा था about the rise of South African cricket again, and I never got to mention it during the team that Kushagra talked about, but few of the players have made the list, and that really made me happy. Okay, there's something good happening.
The plugs.
Yeah. So what Atul is talking about is more than a game. What Pratmesh is talking about is off the pitch. It's a series on the Sports Doyen, हमारा जो YouTube channel जहाँ पे आप शायद अभी देख रहे हो सकता है आप Facebook पे देख रहे हो. तो if you go to the YouTube channel, off the pitch करके एक series है in which we talk to people who've contributed on the pitch and off the pitch, of course, like contributed to the game. So Daryl Cullinan, of course, a famous fantastic batsman for South Africa. He was kind enough to do a 2-part interview with us, which is up on the YouTube channel. So do go and show it some love. Last 3 comments, and then Pratmesh, please put up the. Welcome Fayaz. I think मैंने आपको भी पहली बार देखा है.
He's a senior journalist from Hyderabad. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining, and do share the video around if you like the content. We're very happy to have you here. Vipul says creative people नहीं है कोई प्रथमेश. मुझे तो लगता है मनीष भाई भी नाम बदल के कमेंट कर रहे हैं.
अरे यार
ऐसे सच नहीं बोलते ना मनीष.
सच नहीं बोलते.
Akshay says, Ricky bhai, welcome to the live. Anurag Anna, I watched your interview with Peter Drury. Great video, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I love how people talk to him as Anurag Anna. That's my new contact name for him now.
This is basically Anurag Bhai, right? That's all it means. Ricky Bonding says, thank you, sorry Akshay, but your favorite Amit Mishra won't play much this season as I plan to buy Mujib.
Okay, we haven't
And now
gotten
the
into
Delhi squad. Delhi squad, please.
Yes, Delhi squad is coming up in 3-1 finals में इस बार मत knockout हो now.
Let's see. All right, before I take this, I have to take Fayaz's comment. Hello guys, you guys have been doing a great job. I do follow your videos on YouTube channel. Thank you so much, Fayaz. We're so honored and blessed to have you on board as one of our viewers, and we're so happy that you do watch our content. Please do keep joining us in the comments, and this is fantastic for us. Once again, the retained list: Delhi Capitals, the losing finalists from last year: Shreyas Iyer, Shikhar Dhawan. Shreyas Iyer, of course, the captain. Shreyas Iyer, Shikhar Dhawan, Kagiso Rabada, Prithvi Shaw, Ajinkya Rahane, Rishabh Pant, Anrik Nokia, Marcus Stoinis, Shimron Hetmeyer, Akshar Patel, the MVP, the GOAT, the legend, the one and only Amit Mishra, Ishant Sharma, Ravichandran Ashwin. Again, it's not my channel. It's not got anything to do with TSD. Please follow Ashwin's YouTube channel. It is bloody brilliant. Bloody brilliant. And Kangaroo Bhumi is absolutely fantastic. Lalit Yadav, Chris Wokes, Avesh Khan, and Praveen Dubey. These are the 17 retained players. Amongst the release players, we've got Mohit Sharma, Kimo Paul, Alex Carey, Sandeep Lamichanne, Jason Roy, and Tushar Deshpande. I'll come straight to you, Anurag. What do you make of these retained players, and are there any release players you might have thought again in when it comes to releasing them?
I actually haven't paid great attention to the squad properly because there was some internet
Can you please have that on your screen?
I actually am not very surprised. I think I still would have taken a chance with Mohit Sharma maybe, but I think besides that, I'm not really surprised with whatever they have done in this particular with this retention thing and releasing thing. I think they have a solid squad, and again, like we've said with Mumbai, like we've said with a few other teams, this Delhi has been a team under construction for a while now, and that is we saw the results of it in the last 2 seasons. They had a 3rd place finish last season. They had a 2nd place finish. I hope the geometric progression is right. Yeah, there's only 1 place to go next. Maybe if that is something they could do, I think it'll be great for the IPL in general as well, because I think just the emphasis they have provided on young talents ever since the moment they signed Ricky Ponting back in the day. I think it's been lovely, and that's one of the reasons I've always really admired Delhi Capitals, and I always want them to do well. So it's great that they came to the final. They lost. It's fine, but I think they lost to a fantastic side as well. So I think there's no insult over there. This time I'm really looking forward. I think Amit Mishra. A fact that he's also played for Sunrisers, and he was a part of that team. He was a part of that bowling unit, which made Sunrisers known for their bowling. He was one of the pillars of that, their entire start of a whole reputation. So for Sunrisers, so I think Amit Mishra has been one of my absolute favorite Indian bowlers over the years. He's remained a little underappreciated, yes, but in the IPL his record is absolutely staggering, and I think with Lasith Malinga retiring, maybe if he plays one or two more seasons, he'll rightfully take the top spot. I think it's one of those things you can't really say who deserves it more or something like that. But Amit Mishra definitely deserves to be on the top because of whatever he's done over the years, and that's what I think Akshay was commenting. Please talk about Amit Mishra. So there you have it. I'm looking forward to what Shreyas Iyer does this season, because I was personally not impressed with his batting, especially because when I understand it's not when you're the captain, not people don't really expect that. People don't really expect you to like bang in hundreds every game, but it helps you if you're in good form with the bat, especially the captain, which I don't think helped Delhi, especially that middle phase where they absolutely were losing every game. I think they had like a 3-5 game period where they lost 4 of them. which could have really halted their, which is what opened up the entire IPL, didn't it? Otherwise, it was Mumbai and Delhi running away from the rest of the pack. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been that interesting. Maybe in hindsight, it is great for the IPL, but again, Delhi brought that on themselves. So it depends a little more on Shreyas Iyer and the person commenting in our comment section today, Mr. Ricky Ponting, as to how things will progress for them. I hope for bigger things again. Yeah.
Yeah. Ramesh could I have the squad once again, just for a couple of moments.
Yes, yes. And Kushagra, I think one player who definitely I would be looking for this season, how he does well, is Ajinkya Rahane, because he's had a fantastic tour to Australia. I'm pretty sure he'll be doing well in the India-England series as well. And Ajinkya Rahane has had a pretty decent IPL record. He's done well opening the batting. He's done well in the middle order. I think last season, even in the semi-final, I think he was one of the key players who actually got them through from that qualifier too. And it was disappointing that he didn't actually play well in the final. He has got a pretty good record against Mumbai. So I think Rahane is one of those players who probably last season was a little underappreciated, but I think his value will probably increase even more now that he has done so well in the international circuit. So him and Lalit Yadav, man, because Lalit Yadav has done really well in Test match this season. I watched the Mumbai game where Lalit Yadav absolutely took Mumbai apart. So looking forward to Lalit Yadav as well.
Yeah, I mean, just the reason I wanted to squad up was because मैं रोहन के पास आऊंगा. रोहन, apart from Shreyas Iyer, इसमें इस स्क्वाड में ऐसे प्लेयर्स हैं, as Pratmesh also mentioned, इन लोगों का ग्राफ इस समय ऊपर जा रहा है. And when I say इनका ग्राफ ऊपर जा रहा है, I mean कि आप शिखर धवन को देखिए, he had a fantastic white ball tour of Australia. He's had a decent Syed Mustaq Ali trophy. He's been in good nick. And I'm sure he'll play white ball cricket against England as well. So he should be in good nick before the IPL. Kagiso Rabada again, he's good against Sri Lanka. He'll be getting match practice against Pakistan as well. He should be well accustomed to pitches nearby India. Slightly warmer climates. He should be doing well. Prithvi Shaw को थोड़ा side रखते हैं. I hope he gets some time in the middle with Mumbai or wherever he's playing, whether it's domestic cricket or even club cricket for that matter, because he needs to feel ball and bat. I think he needs to get the time in the middle. Ajinkya Rahane, Rishabh Pant, Anrik Nokia, Marcus Stoinis, Akshar Patel also, and Amit Mishra, Amit Mishra, Ishant Sharma की तो बात ही बाद में करनी चाहिए because ये दोनों तो effectively थे ही नहीं पिछले IPL में, and Ravichandran Ashwin. All of them have been in fantastic touch over the last 3 months. So you think ये help करेगा in coming into this IPL? Prakash could coming into this IPL, Rohan?
I don't think बहुत बड़ा impact होगा because IPL start होगा अप्रैल के आसपास and तब तक वो recent touch वाली बात खत्म हो जाती है ना? So and they won't be playing too much white ball cricket. The foreigners like India will be playing England, but yeah, the others. So I don't think अभी का form will make too much difference. You never know. पृथ्वी शॉ को बीच में इंडिया इंग्लैंड सीरीज में मौका मिल गया. He scores runs, so maybe that helps him instead. So I think it's too early to comment कि फॉर्म के बेसिस पे किन्हें एडवांटेज मिलेगा. I personally feel दिल्ली का एक प्रॉब्लम है कि लास्ट सीजन भी ये लोग अपना बैटिंग ऑर्डर समझ ही नहीं पाए कि कौन सा प्लेयर कहाँ परफेक्टली फिट होगा. For example, Marcus Stoinis. So he has been opening in BBL this season as well, like last season. And Delhi के लिए वो last 2-3 मैच open किया था just because Prithvi Shaw was not firing. So what is their plan with him? Considering their releases, they have released Alex Carey and Jason Roy. So are they really targeting, looking at Marcus Stoinis as an opener? Because Jason Roy
I think Stoinis और Shaw को opening का देख रहे हैं.
Yeah. So then what happens with Shikhar Dhawan? And again, Ajinkya Rahane, in spite of being in good form, you can't play him below, way down the order. So
at best, I think you can play him number 4, right, Ron? 4 से नीचे तो बिल्कुल
नहीं. Again, that's another problem because Shreyas Iyer then shifts down. वो Ajinkya Rahane को number 3 खिलाता है, and Shreyas Iyer at number 4 becomes slightly weaker option for him. So he becomes 50% of Shreyas Iyer when he's playing at number 4 or 5. Shreyas Iyer is more effective when he's playing at number 3. So I think these are the problems that Delhi they have to encounter before the auction. So then they can target the right players in the auction. So yeah, Manish, yeah.
Yes, like you said about Jason Roy, that was something even I was looking at a bit surprised. Okay, Jason Roy didn't play that much, but looking at the recent form, Jason Roy in the BBL, he scored close to 300 odd runs in 10 games for the post coaches, and he has been doing fairly well. So I was a little surprised at the option of Jason Roy not being retained, because I think he might have given them that additional option, considering Prithvi Shaw's form is not really at the best. Marcus Stoinis, if they bring him up, then maybe down the order, I don't know how much they trust Hitmire over there. So Jason Roy could have been someone that they could have looked at and thought about, let's keep him. You never know, they might go back into the option table and get him back, but that was a bit of a surprise to me.
Yeah, but just to add on, personally, I think they'll be eyeing a few middle order or lower middle order batsmen, like who can play the role of a finisher. Like if they're planning to play Stoinis as an opener, so like we have been talking about Shakib Al Hasan a lot. I think Shakib Al Hasan will be on the radar of Delhi Capitals as well, because he probably fits into the bill, like what they would want as for a number 5 batsman. Like if they don't trust Hetmeyer. Also, I don't know about the availability of Daniel Christian. Again, like these are the players who have been doing well in BBL. Like obviously the franchises would be having an eye on them. So I think
Nathan
they'll be
Coulter-Nile.
so I think they'll be eyeing a few lower middle order batsmen to just help their cause, considering their releases, because they have released Alex Carey, Jason Roy. All these players are good top order batsmen. So I think they are relying. They want to improve the lower middle order. So otherwise, I think
Atul, I'll come to you. Atul, I'll come to you because मेरे बाद यहाँ पे अगर कोई प्रॉपर दिल्ली वाला है तो तुम्हें बोलूंगा सबसे पहले मैं, आधा दिल्ली वाले. So coming to you, Atul, कैसा लग रहा है ये स्क्वाड? अगेन एक बहुत ही क्लासिकल प्रॉब्लम के बारे में रोहन ने बताया, द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ नॉट नोइंग हु योर ओपनर्स आर, एंड ही इज राइट. अगर आप, आई एम जस्ट गिविंग एन ऑप्शन, अगर आप ये सोच रहे हो कि आप स्टॉइनिस से ओपन कराओगे, अगर आप स्टॉइनिस से ओपन कराते हैं तो द प्रॉब्लम अगेन रिमेन्स कि अगर स्टॉइनिस एक स्पॉट ले लेता है तो इधर यू आर ड्रॉपिंग पृथ्वी शॉ, राइट? ही इज नॉट इन अ प्लेइंग 11 बिकॉज I can only see that scenario because you drop Prithvi Shaw, Stoinis opens with Shikhar Dhawan. Shikhar Dhawan has to open. He was your best opener last season. 2 centuries, top scorer for the team. It's been great nick with India as well, and I'm pretty sure he'll score runs in India against England as well. So Shikhar Dhawan has to be one of your openers. If you go with Stoinis, then that really, as Rohan said, does not leave any finisher at the end for you. आपको खरीदना पड़ेगा कोई finisher, and उसके बाद you also have to probably drop रहाणे और play him at 3 or 4, because then again वो आपका सिनेरियो आ सकता है जहां पे रहाणे फंस जाए, और अगर रहाणे और धवन एक साथ बैटिंग कर रहे हैं तो you can see Ponting getting frustrated with the strike rate.
मेरे को तो ये लगता है कि मतलब अगर दिल्ली को गैम्बल करना ही है, अगर वो इतना सोच ही रहे हैं फिर मार्कस स्टोइनिस ओपनिंग, आई थिंक शिखर धवन कर ही रहे हैं ओपन, एंड व्हाट दे कैन डू इज, जैसे हम लोग याद है वो थप्पा के बारे में बात कर रहे थे, कमिंग इन देयर, गिविंग दो स्टार्ट्स एंड देन गेटिंग आउट. अजिंक्य रहाणे हैज बीन इन ब्रिलियंट फॉर्म. Let Ajinkya Rahane and Shikhar Dhawan let Ajinkya Rahane and Shikhar Dhawan open the innings, because Rahane had done that for RR before as well. ठीक है, and that just solves your issue there, having this Shreyas Iyer at 3, Rishabh Pant at 4, Marcus Stoinis and Shimron Hetmeyer, or maybe if they get Shakib Al Hasan, whoever they have at that point of time. And then lower down the order you have the bowlers, but I think who'll play at number 7, I still can't get
Akshar
that.
Patel.
Yeah, Akshar Patel is there. So that I think having Ajinkya Rahane at the top might help their cause. ठीक है, तो and he has been in brilliant form, अच्छा खासा बढ़िया बॉल दिख रहा है, and he's been hitting them out of the park वहाँ पे भी, ऑस्ट्रेलिया में भी. तो I think that might be something that can really help them. And Marcus Stoinis down the order, मतलब Marcus Stoinis is the kind of player, whether he plays up the order, down the order, he can be explosive. So Delhi can really look forward to that. And apart from that, as you mentioned, Jason Roy को निकाला, मतलब रिलीज किया. जेसन रॉय हिटिंग इन दी बीबीएल, एलेक्स कैरी ओपनिंग कर रहा है, पता है एडलेट स्ट्राइकर्स पे सेंचुरी मार दिया फिर से, वो भी रन. संदीप लमिचा ने विकेट ले रहा. मैंने कहा व्हाट इज दिस दिल्ली अगेन, दे लीव पीपल टू स्टार्ट प्लेइंग.
And also, Kuchagra, for you, one question as a Delhi fan. Do you mind seeing Rishabh Pant opening the batting? Would that be a masterstroke which probably Ponting could decide?
Hi Manish.
Is he bringing the Gilchrist thing back?
No, but I just think explosive चाहिए ही तो वो better than Rishabh Pant, right?
नहीं, personally I don't know, मतलब मैं नहीं चाहूंगा because the thing is Rishabh Pant can be utilized at number 5, number 6 rather better because or even 4 for that matter अगर आपके first top 3 अच्छा चल गए हैं तो because आपके पास इतना opening talent है आप सबको फिर shoe on कर रहे हो opener. I agree Marcus Stoinis has performed well in the BBL and everything else. But with all due respect, he's got a better quality of batsman in this team than he does in his Big Bash League team. And because he's got a better quality of batsman in this team, therefore he probably needs to bat lower down the order. And Atul की भौएं चढ़ रही हैं इस पे, but
No,
I
not
think
Dhawan is adding it. Are you said about the quality of batsmen in his BBL team? I just remembered of Glenn Maxwell being in the same team and I started laughing.
बस खत्म तो मतलब कोई डिस्कशन ही नहीं है Maxi is played for Delhi
I'm
also.
wondering what is bhawe chad rahi hai.
The eyebrows rising.
Eyebrows
I'm
rising.
sorry.
Oh,
Yeah. So all right, boys, हमने 1.5 घंटा
Kushagra.
क्रॉस कर लिया है तो I'll not even ask you guys for
just one thing. I think तुषार देशपांडे का रिलीज एक बहुत बड़ी चीज लगी थी मुझे मतलब दे गेव हिम प्रॉपर स्टार्ट्स एंड एवरीथिंग इन द लास्ट आईपीएल एंड आई थिंक ही परफॉर्म्ड वे अबव द लेवल दैट वी एक्सपेक्टेड हिम टू एंड उसको रिलीज करना वाज समथिंग जो मेरे को काफी अजीब लगा फ्रॉम दिल्ली पर्सपेक्टिव बट आई थिंक बिकॉज उनको लग रहा है ईशांत शर्मा माइट बी फिट फॉर द होल सीरीज सो ठीक है एक लड़के को उन्होंने जाने दिया तो वो
कितना हंस रहे हो बात पे यार भाई फिट रहेगा ईशांत यार ऐसा मतलब बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट प्लेयर है दिल्ली के लिए ईशांत और मिश्रा जी आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट प्लेयर्स
Yeah.
But do you see Amit Mishra and Ravichandran Ashwin playing together?
No, but I'll be happy if they play alternatively as well. So I would be happy if like Mishra gets like 7,
Anderson
6
and
matches
Broad of Delhi Capitals.
Anderson and Broad of Delhi
Anderson and Broad of Delhi Capitals. Alternate.
Yeah, देखो पता है क्या Atul, honestly, Ravi Ashwin since the IPL began in UAE, he according to me has been in top form. And the ball that he's releasing, the control he's shown with white ball cricket, I have been championing his cause of his return in the white ball scene in Indian cricket. And I don't understand the concept of him not being in the Indian team because he is hands down the best spinner we have in the country right now. Hands down. And बंदा fit हो गया. आप देखो उसको, he's looking fitter, he's looking leaner. The whole fitness issue that we talked about.
He'll bowl those 5 brilliant like variations. And then the 6th ball, he'll go for the leg break. And but
Ravichandran Ashwin निकाल के दे रहा है ना 10 ओवर में चाहिए क्या और क्या चाहिए
yeah Ravichandran Ashwin I think will be starting above Amit Mishra at this point of time.
I am pretty sure. Okay, all right, boys, we've crossed 90 minutes and I think ये काफी लिमिट हो गया है. I'll just quickly read out
full time we are approaching.
Someone blow a whistle, but yeah. I'll just read the final few comments and then we'll call it a night. Akshay saying, ये रिकी नहीं है मनीष ही है. मनीष सबको डाउट हो रहा है तेरे पे कि और whether it is actually
one way of calling a man jobless.
Personal.
Fayaz mentions the video of India versus Australia series on IGTV did give me goosebumps. Fayaz, the credit goes to Anurag Pisara here. It's fantastic. The creative brains of the sports join here. Fantastic work. He's come up with a fantastic tribute to तब सबके स्क्रीन में उल्टे सीधे ही है. I know. ठीक है. So he's made a fantastic tribute for Cheteshwar Pujara also, and as we speak, is the last.
And a very happy birthday.
If you haven't wished him, sir.
I was going to end the show on that note, but okay, fine.
Yeah, a very, very happy birthday to Cheteshwar Pujara. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all that you've done for Indian cricket, and we hope for another many years to come that we see you keep battling it out and grinding the bowlers down into submission. Actually, so I wish you very.
Pratmesh didn't wish Lendl Simmons. पता है? प्रथमेश ने लैंडल सिमंस को विश नहीं किया. ये एमआई फैन है, देखो ये ऐसे घटिया.
Lendl Simmons fun fact is the fastest player to 1,000 runs in the IPL for Mumbai Indians.
No one cares. So, like legit, no one cares.
Come on.
No one cares.
We'll have Lendl have that. It's fine, but Puji,
I don't like him. I don't like him. You know,
Yeah,
2016.
Exactly.
yes,
Yeah, exactly.
the
I was gonna come to that
semi-final.
only.
Yeah,
Like, I don't like that guy.
that too, he did it at the Wankhede where he was playing IPL season. So,
तुम्ही ने प्रैक्टिस कराई थी ना तो उससे तुम ही तो
अरे भैया खत्म करना है लाइव 100 मिनट हो जाएंगे Vipul says Ishant and Mishra ji will play a huge role this season. Last season they got injured, but this time I think DC can win. Vipul, that is all I'll say. I feel they could have retained either Jason Roy or Carey. I think tumse ball and Vipul. I think a few people agree with you there. Mukesh Sharmani says I watch your live streams whenever I have time, and I always enjoy live streams and make you enjoy my comments. Ambani OP.
ये भी मेरी weakness है, ये self obsession.
विपुल फिर से देखो रिकी अंकल ये बोल्ट के एमआई ट्रांसफर ने आपका पोपट कर दिया बिल्कुल
I will never understand that thing.
Ricky responding comments to Anurag. Thanks for the compliment, Anurag. Mishra ji, OP, Akshay Kadam. No, for people who don't know, Akshay in Akshay's favorite, I think all-time favorite player probably Amit Mishra, but so he will definitely say that. Ricky Ponting coming back to Vipul. Sorry, I don't understand Hindi Vipul. Can you translate? Vipul is.
How did he know it was Hindi? It could have been Marathi. Okay.
Nice. Anurag with James Bond hat on there. Vipul says DC had 7 different man of the matches in the first 8 wins this season. Yes, and then it all went wrong. Sai Bharat says I watch your live streams whenever I have time. Please enjoy Sai, beautiful.
I think it's like the worst chore ever.
Leaving a clue.
Look at the leopard that's stalking in his DP. I think that's all he's doing right now. Akshay says we will see more of Ajinkya this season. That's what we want, Akshay. Ricky Ponting again. Lalit Yadav will be Delhi Capital's right hand, especially after being successful as a right hand for Munna Bhai.
Ricky Ponting.
I don't want to say what Lalit. I don't want to say what Lalit.
No one is asking. No one is asking.
Exactly.
No. That's too much. That is a line I draw. Fayez says Delhi Capitals have a great bunch of players. They have rightfully retained most of their players. Yes, they have players. I don't see any problems with the players that they've released. I know Tushar Deshpande is a bit of a tough call there, but still, I think they're fine. Varun says, Rohan bhai, no Prithvi in England series squad, but I hope Ranji gets green light and Prithvi gains back his Midas touch. Yes, he is not in the squad at all, Rohan. But I think what if you have an injury or something like that?
Yeah. Way down the line.
Fayaz says, I feel bad for Shaw. He's been criticized way too much. Even Pant faced huge criticism until he shut all the critics with his performance. Fayaz, and he says, apologies for the typing errors. Please ignore. Fayaz, I have speaking errors. Please don't think typing errors are anything to be ashamed of. Please don't do that. I think
I still can't type in my mobile. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fantastic on that regard. But as far as Prithvi Shaw is concerned, Fayaz, I feel thoda bahut Prithvi Shaw ne khud bhi contribute kiya. He has contributed to his, to the negative press that he's garnered, and it's time for him to put his head down, like Rishabh did, like Rishabh has performed, and Rishabh faced a lot of criticism even in the summer when the IPL was going on. So let's see how it goes on. Varun says Stoinish, Shakib, Nokia, Rabada, interesting overseas for very interesting. Real versus real life says any uncapped or new Indian players to look out for this IPL season. Again, real versus real life. We will talk about all this when it comes to the mini auction being completed. When you have the finalized list of the squads, then maybe we can see.
I'm still waiting for Ishan Porel to play.
Just to add on to it, there is one guy called Mustafa Yusuf. Like he has been called for Mumbai Indians trials this season, and when Mumbai Indians calls player for trials, they more or less they get that guy in the auction. So that will be someone to look out for in the auction.
All right, that's a quick sneak peek into that by Rohan. Thank you for that. Akshay says Coulter-Nile को सब teams में घुसा दिया है प्रथमेश ने. Yes, जो भी team की बात होती है उसको Coulter-Nile दे देता है ये. Maybe DC will transfer Mishra ji to MI this season and then he'll make them pay. ओए भाई क्या बातें कर रहा है? क्यों विपुल भाई? Varun says, Pant as an opener, Mr. Ponting give India their Gilchrist. Varun says, Ponting says, noted, buddy.
This will just make speculations that I am Ricky Ponting.
Fayaz says, I don't follow too much of IPL, so clueless about a few things. Fayaz, of course, we have spoken about international cricket for the first 50-55 minutes of the live. So if in case you want to have a look, please do have a look there. But if not, we will be covering IPL slightly, maybe not so much now, from now till the end of the auctions. But post the auctions, of course, we'll be definitely be covering IPL. So please do let us know if there are any doubts that you have.
Fayaz mentioned errors like typing error, speaking error. Fayaz error. Speaking
Existence error. Bro, अतुल, हम लोग की लाइफ ही 404 है.
Yeah, let's not discuss our private things here in public. Let's keep it.
No one's discussing private, buddy. Akshar Patel is underrated. Varun says Delhi is a little weak in lower middle order. It's better if they open with Rahane, Dhawan, Shaw. Stoinis needs to be a finisher. I absolutely agree with you, Varun. Fayaz says need to leave, guys. We'll join you during the India versus England series. We'd love to have you, sir. Would love to have you. I'd love to have you on board for that particular series. We're also waiting for that. Maxwell to DC. Akshay says 400 plus runs season incoming. भाई वो पिछले 10 साल से आ ही रहा है वो season. Century against Kings 11 Punjab. Why not?
Yeah, bro, that definitely hit him.
Akshay, Maxwell to Mumbai. Nita Mani says, but we care, Anurag. And Heath Babla says, first of all, Heath, welcome to the live session. I think this is the first time I'm reading out your comments. One opinion: DC didn't have to release Daniel Sams. Give him one more chance. He's taken the most number of wickets in a BBL season ever. Also, he's been batting very well this season, if I'm not wrong. But thank you for joining us, Heath, and also to all the other people who've been kind enough to be there with us for over 100 minutes. To our panel, Manish is facing a few internet issues, but also massive thanks to him. Atul, Rohan, and of course the entire V Express platform, V Express team. I'll get Manish in. Thank you for doing that, guys. Manish, once again, thank you so much for joining us. And as I was saying, thank you to the V Express Sport team for being so consistent with the live sessions. It's been fantastic for us. And do check their content out on their Insta and Twitter handles. Pratnesh and Anurag, the regulars, thank you so much for joining us. Guys, as I said earlier, we are live every weekday at 10 with our Cricket Daily, and we'll be live for the rest of the week. We'll have the Pakistan-South Africa match to cover as well tomorrow, and the BBL matches. So do keep it locked to the Sports Joint for all things around cricket and other sports as well. RCB OP, then Heath Babla. All right, Varun, thank you so much. Vipul, actually, will you guys take in any guests for the panel this week? Vipul, tomorrow in the live, we'll let you know what the schedule for that particular scenario is. Whether it'll start this week or whether it'll start next week. But we will try to take guests on one of the days of the week, wherein we can increase the interaction, and you'll see less of our faces and more of new faces. Akshay says Manish ko wapas gusta aaya. Akshay will never stop with that banter there. Thank you so much, boys. I'll end up this.
Yes,
Lampard is what Varun says. Yeah. Tough luck there, Frank. Tough luck there. Hang in there. Thank you so much to the five of you for joining me here. To everyone who's watched the live, thank you so much. You stayed along with us for such a long time. Do keep it locked to the Sports Joint for all things around sports and especially cricket. This is me, Kushagra, signing off, and we'll see you soon.